I, Nicholas Pardue, hereby reconvene the Board of Education regular meeting in open session at 5:04 p.m. We have a quorum present with all board members in attendance. Please note that this meeting is being both recorded and live streamed for public viewing. I would like to welcome the community members in attendance this evening. As a reminder, governing board meetings are a business meeting of the board held in public, and although public participation is encouraged, it is not the public's meeting. It is the duty of the board president and/or our clerk of the board to maintain an orderly, respectful, and peaceful meeting where all perspectives, voices, and opinions are welcome. Please refrain from speaking while another person has the floor. Item D1, report action taken in closed session. Upon the motion of Trustee Young, seconded by Trustee Schmidt, and a vote of 4-0, the board took action in closed session pursuant to Government Code sections 54957 to release classified employee number 333360 effective December 30th, 2025. I'd like to call on Mrs. Eleanor Briggs for the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item D3, approval of the agenda, calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Communications, E1, special recognition. Dr. Andrus, please introduce.
All right, we have tonight Dorothy McElhaney, choir, and Dora Ridgway. So Dora, while you come forward, we're gonna come sit in the front. And then Dora, you guys can get started whenever you're ready and speak to us once we get down there.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, board. Thank you, everybody. We just have a little bit of a representation of our concert choir tonight. That winter sickness really got to all of us, so hopefully we can come back with our full, strong numbers next time as well. But we've got some excellent students here to wow you anyway. Our song that we're doing tonight is called Canto de Pilón. It is by Cristian Graces, and I have a student to tell you a little bit more about the background of it. Maria, come on up.
In the Venezuelan coast, women use big mortars carved out of tree trunks to grind grain, usually corn, wheat, coffee, or cocoa, which is a tradition that came from African tribes. This is an intense physical activity, and women often do this in groups of 2 or 3 so they feel accompanied and achieve results in shorter periods of time. This is a traditional work song that would accompany this job. The lyrics are, Pila que pila María, pila el maíz. Hoy, 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 pile todo el maíz. Hoy, 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 que mamá manda a pilar. Pile yo, pilo María, y también pilo pilar. Which translates to, grind and grind, Maria, grind the corn. Today, 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 I ground all the corn. Today, 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 that mother ordered to grind. I ground, Maria ground, and also Pilar ground.
Chaka chaka chapu, chaka chaka pum pum. Pila que pila María, pila maíz. Pila que pila María, pila el maíz. Pila que pila María, pila el maíz. Hoy, 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 que mamá mandó pilar. Pila yo pilo María y también pilo pilar. Pila yo pilo María y también pilo pilar. Pila que pila María, pila maíz. Pila que pila María, pila maíz. Pila que pila María, pila maíz. Hoy, 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 que mamá mandó a pilar. Hoy, 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 que mamá mandó a pilar. Pila yo pilo María y también pilo Pilar. Pila yo pilo María y también pilo Pilar. Pila que pila María, pila maíz. Pila que pila María, pila maíz.
Chakata, chakata, chaka, chaka.
Goes with my Africa theme today.
Well, that was a great job. You
Yes.
guys did an amazing, amazing job. I am I'm impressed, especially doing it in a different language. That's difficult. All right, E2, student presentations. I call on Thompson Middle School Principal, Mr. De Leon.
Good evening, board members, senior cabinet, community members, fellow colleagues, and parents. I am so excited to be here tonight to represent one of the amazing programs. We have many at Thompson way before my tenure, but one amazing program that has really put Thompson on the map. They are led by a tremendous leader, supportive parents, and of course, represented by future engineers straight out of Murrieta. Please, without further ado, let me bring up their leader, Mr. Ben Wallace.
All right, and I'd like at this time, thank you, Mr. De Leon. Thank you all in attendance. Thank you, board members, as well as families that came out to support us. Can I ask kind of a basic question at this point? Should we be facing you for this presentation? Would you like the students? Or would you like me to turn this microphone similar to the presentation we just saw?
It's up to you.
What would you
We
prefer?
can't. Are we driving?
They're not going to be driving. They did bring 2 different examples of finished robots that they'd like to share, and just an overview. So,
Let's turn it around. Let's make it easy so they can
More
share.
people can see.
okay.
That way everybody
Whatever you'd
can
prefer.
see.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. All right. With that, I would like to welcome Thompson Robotics Team E to go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and join us. Thank you, guys. And you have, yep, okay. All right, I'm hopeful. This mic's working really well, so hopefully this will pick everybody up great. Problem solving, engineering. So it's a privilege to be in year 7 at Thompson Middle School as a robotics teacher, year 21 in the district. And I go to work every day ready for challenges, but really ready to be impressed by student engineers, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. One of those teams I brought today out of the 72 teams that we have. And one of the highlights, I think, of our program at Thompson is that I prepare curriculum. I have a really great relationship, vertical aligned, forward momentum focused relationship with our Nighthawk Robotics coach, Mr. Hunter. And then we also get to partner with the teams, and they get to come and feed and push into the Thompson Robotics program after school in different robotics club capacities. But who to share best than the students? So I brought Team E, and they have a presentation that they would like to provide to you now. So I'm going to welcome Tanner.
My name is Gavin Stewart.
My name is Adriana Brown.
My name is Mason Zimmer.
My name is Jack Hunter.
My name is Noel Johnson.
My name is Tanner Domenico, and we are 569E. We are a joint collaboration between TMS and MVHS.
We get to work in small groups, build robots, and collaborate to solve problems. Everything we do is based off on a process called Think, Do, Test, where we get to design what we do, we get to build what we get to test what it does afterward, and we get to test it.
Middle school robotics exposes and prepares students for jobs that involve engineering, for example, electricians. Not only do you learn a lot about engineering, but you also get to improve different life skills, such as creativity, problem solving, and collaboration.
In November of last year, we were introduced in Press Enterprises newspaper, which was nerve-wracking and also a pathway to success.
Our teams have competed at state championships the past 2 years.
Students learn how to think critically, and they also learn how to problem solve in their teams as they're working on their robots. Students innovate designs that improve their creative thinking.
Robotics is fun. Students get to learn a lot while working and engaging with other teams and still being challenged. Students become prepared for the high school robotics program. We would like to hear some questions.
Can you describe what those two robots do and how are they different? How are they the same?
Yes.
Step up a little bit further. There you go.
Yep.
Let's go. Tanner, you stay at the mic. Okay. So let's start over on this robot, Tanner.
This is our Vex V5 competition bot. We built this through the coming year. We've redesigned it. This is our third version of it. Yes.
I was afraid you were going to ask that.
Yeah, stay there, stay there. We use a 3-motion design. Our left side of our drive base is 1 motion. Pick it up. It's 1 motion. Second side is the other motion. And our third motion is the scoring motion. Our intake, the rubber band wheel, picks up the scoring elements. The conveyors bring them up the ramp, flip around, and dispenses them out of this outtake. These are our guides. Guides. This is the IQ robot for last year's game.
You got it?
Yeah.
So this was a, and I'll simply take over simply because Tanner is now talking about a different game. They're playing this year's game in the V5 high school for the first time. Which is an interesting joint collaboration. This is the first year, and this is Team E, 569 being the retired world championship number from MV Robotics, and this is Team E, 8th graders. Plus 1 6th grader, outstanding as well. And on this robot, the question was asked, this was the robot that 25803, that is Thompson's number, competition number, when we compete regionally. This was the one that took us to state. And so we were down in LA. This robot was 25803B, and this robot ended up 18th in their division in SoCal, which is really terrific. And this is, as you can see, a little different. This is mostly plastic focused. Most students in Thompson Robotics used the VEX IQ curriculum and equipment versus this is the one team we have that's kind of the bridge that's using the V5, the metal competition pieces. So when you walk into our lab, I'll quote Carl Love and the opening line of the Press Enterprise article that he wrote. It came out in November. He described seeing chaos and yet organized chaos, and it was evident. And when he asked me if that first, he didn't ask me is that first line okay. He just said this is the first line of the article. I said okay, let me keep reading, and then he got into the product and what students were creating. So that really is what we bring to you today. Thompson Robotics is in the business of equipping and empowering students, student engineers, as we build a culture of excellence in the middle school classroom environment. So again, any other questions? Oh yes. Tanner, or anyone else would like to answer?
The VEX V5 robot we have here took 2 days to design the frame and took us another 3 days to get all of it moving and working. It is our third attempt.
When did you start that design originally, or a design for the game?
We started last year around late second semester.
So May.
May, yeah.
When they started. Yeah.
Let me just tell you, besides the engineering skills, the opportunity to use your public speaking skills. And I'm proud of all of you guys for coming up and being able to speak and share your ideas with everybody. So you've done a great job. I'm really proud of you guys. Excellent.
Thank you again for this opportunity. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right.
So as directed by President Pardue, we're going to call up Murrieta Mesa and come and share. And so we won't move. We're going to wait for you. Caitlin, are you going to introduce the group? Come on over.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. And tonight I have the honor of introducing MESA's Unified Sports Leadership Program. This program brings together students of all abilities to lead, compete, and belong through sports and school events and service. It builds meaningful friendships, strengthens leadership skills, and creates a campus culture where everyone gets to feel valued every day. The impact that this program has had on not only our school, but our community as well is something that we as MESA are incredibly proud of. So please join me today in welcoming Miss Boggs, Chloe Long, and Livy Corelli.
Okay, we're very excited to present tonight. Thank you so much for having us. Without further ado, I'm going to let the girls take over because they're so excited to present tonight.
Hello, my name is Chloe Long from Murrieta Mesa, and I am just going to read from, so we've been doing a program at our school of Unified Leadership. Unified Leadership builds an inclusive culture, bringing students of all abilities together at Mesa. We learn from each other and support one another and show our Mesa community that everyone can be a leader and make an impact on our campus. Here are a few activities we did last semester.
These are our lunchtime activities. Our lunchtime activities provide students of all abilities the opportunity to connect, collaborate, and promote acceptance and spread a culture of inclusion at Mesa. In some of these pictures, we have our students signing a paper which we put handprints on, and it just shows everyone of all abilities coming together and signing stuff, we give out bracelets, we play games, and it just helps everyone to bring a good culture at Mesa.
We shared the spirit of inclusion and We shared the spirit of inclusion and holiday cheer with a whole school engagement unified holiday show. Share how we sing and dance and had a great time. The theater was packed.
Good job.
Okay, so this was our first year doing CIF football, and CIF flag football provides students with and without disabilities the opportunity to compete together in a highly competitive school-based athletic environment that follows CIF standards and expectations. This was a really awesome event. It brought together all of our students, and this is our first year doing it, and I think we'll continue to do it.
Sorry.
This, again, was also our first year doing the Unified Alumni Holiday Luncheon. And the Unified Holiday Alumni Lunch brings together former Unified athletes and peer partners to reconnect, celebrate the season, connecting us back to our community, and reflecting on the lasting impact of inclusion and friendship built through Unified programs. And nothing at Mesa would be possible if we didn't have Miss Boggs. She's truly the teacher that has left an impact on every student. This event really showed how much of an impact she has on people.
We host a Spirit Week in March to spread awareness at our school. Each day represents a different disability. The whole school engagement, getting everyone involved to dress up in spirit points are given. Hosting staff bocce ball at lunch gets all staff involved as well as students watching.
Here are a few pictures from staff bocce ball. This tournament is one of our most popular school events. Everyone loves it. We have a spirit day each week, or we have a spirit day all week with the highest participation from staff. We get about 70 staff members to play bocce at lunch. It's really fun to watch all them play and enjoy and be super competitive with each other. Okay. This is our Unified Swim team. This is our second year going on, or third year. Unified Swim is something that me and Chloe are very passionate about. We started it last year, and it's our second year doing it. We have the largest swim team in the CIF section this year. Unified Swim brings together students with all abilities in having the common love for sports. Unified Swim has brought confidence to all kids and a community of inclusion. I've watched many athletes, including Chloe, grow into confident individuals. We are so lucky to be a part of something so amazing. And again, nothing would be possible without our amazing Miss Boggs and all the staff at Mesa.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all your support.
I might come check out your bocce ball because I actually play the French version of it. It's the same thing, more or less.
It is true, there are no public comments. Thanks.
Great job, everybody from Mesa. That was wonderful. Thank you, Miss Natalie. I was out at the Unified event last year, and it is a sight to behold. If you've never been, it is open to the community, and that was my first year going, and it's like nothing. I don't think it's like any other event that this district holds in terms of community and how it pulls everybody together. So I think, what is that date, Miss Natalie? For
March 20th this year. Thank you all for already RSVPing.
yeah. So March 20th.
And Nancy will put you on the bocce team, okay?
Yeah. I will actually do that. That's for sure.
I absolutely love the format too. I think having the students come out on each board meeting and having the schools be able to highlight their programs is just a really cool format. And I'm so glad that you guys came out to share all the wonderful things you guys are doing at your sites. So thank you so much. Great leadership all the way around. Thank you. In a historic moment, there are no public comments. Maybe no one else appreciates this, but I have a little tear right now. That is great. All right, employee organization reports. The California school employees, oh, thank you all for coming out, by the way, on your way out. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your support.
Yes, our middle school kids don't drive, so
Yeah.
appreciate our families helping them out.
Parents get to watch them here, so it's a win-win.
So trustees, just as an FYI, we do host local robotics competitions. They're at our school, oftentimes midday, especially our middle school ones. There's a robo one, both fall and spring of our first year robotics kids. These are our students who've been in multiple competitions. Ben was sharing with me that they're actually competing this Saturday at a regional event. So they're constantly learning, they learn from each competition. What's interesting about some of the competitions, they may be matched up in a competitive way, but they have to collaborate with another team they've never met before. So they both have to, so for example, in December, I saw Robo 1 at Chavela, and two teams, these are first year, mostly sixth graders, a team from Dorothy and a team from Chavela had to team up, who they'd never met, but they had to compete against a team from Thompson and the other school. I've lost track, Dorothy, or whichever one. So it's like competitive yet collaborative at the same time. So it's great for the kids' experience, and it's overall, it's just a wonderful thing to think and to test and do, and so great experience for all.
Okay, so we have employee organization reports next. California School Employees Association is Desiree Espinoza.
President Pardue, Dr. Anderson, the board, Happy New Year. CSEA would like to apologize for recent absences and miscommunication. We are pleased to inform you that negotiations has concluded thanks to the hard work and dedication of both teams. We would like to thank Dr. Andrus for attending our chapter meeting on January 12th. We appreciate you coming to welcome our valued classified back from the holiday season. When many of us are on break, classified keep working. We are excited to announce that our executive board is evolving. I have become the first vice president of our chapter. I will continue to be fully dedicated to our essential classified staff. I vow to be a positive voice for our members and advocate for them. In addition to that, we have a new second vice president, Tanya Spedaletti, and a new treasurer, Laura Giancola. We welcome them to our executive board and look forward to working together to advocate for our members. With the evolution of our board, we are also seeing a major growth in our member involvement and participation. Additionally, we have upcoming trainings scheduled for our members, including site representative training on January 27th and union steward training on January 31st. That is a 3-level training. They dedicate 3 different Saturdays. They have homework. It takes a lot of dedication to do that. And all of those trainings are happening locally. So we are happy to give that to our members. We are excited to supply these trainings to our members and strengthen our chapter here in Murrieta. Thank you for your continued support as we strive to improve the lives of our members, students, and community.
All right, thank you. And next up, Lisa Murray, president of MEA.
Good evening, everybody. Really quickly, like I always do before I start, I just want to remind everybody that these outstanding programs that we offer to students would not be available without the outstanding educators, like Livy and Chloe so wonderfully spoke about Ms. Boggs, she and all the other leaders of these groups. Kids have the opportunities because there are teachers and staff who are willing to take on that responsibility. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. As we move into the second half of the 2025-2026 school year, I'm pleased to share encouraging news. After an exceptionally long and challenging negotiation season, 91% of the 613 MEA members who participated in the vote have approved our tentative agreement with the district for the 2025-2026 contract year. We look forward to finalizing that agreement with your vote this evening. The 2025-2026 tentative agreement memorializes important first steps on some fronts and progress on others. That said, it is important to acknowledge that the majority of no votes came from our elementary teachers, largely over concerns that there is much work yet to be done toward long-term, meaningful, and lasting reduction in class sizes. Likely, parents of all 33 first graders in a classroom with one teacher want effective instruction, a safe environment, and individual attention for their children. But as at any grade level, teacher-student ratios can hinder those things. As we move directly from this agreement into negotiations for 26-27, let us work toward a multi-year district-wide plan to reliably and permanently address class size at all levels. If we are truly committed to improving student outcomes and raising test scores, we need to stay laser focused on the factors that genuinely impact teaching and learning. It doesn't matter which secondary math pathways or elementary language arts curriculum we choose. It doesn't matter. What does matter is teachers having the ability to meet students where they are and having the bandwidth to give students the individualized support they need to be successful. Temporary Band-Aids like overage pay or one-year agreements to increase site staffing by a single teacher aren't the kinds of learning guarantees or safety assurances that have lasting benefits. As many of you know, being educators yourselves, there is a large body of research indicating that the teacher in the classroom is the single most important factor in student achievement. Thus, meeting teachers' needs is directly correlated to meeting students' needs. MEA understands enrollment impacts, disparities in state-level school funding, as well as the need for financial stability. But as we prepare to enter the 2026-2027 negotiation cycle, I'll use a phrase that I've heard used freely around here. We can do anything, but we can't do everything. Thank you, Mr. Whittington. Let us keep in mind those words with all seriousness, along with figures from the first interim budget report presentation at December's board meeting. For this and the next 2 fiscal years, the district's ending fund balance will include excuse me, I choked over these words because they're so big. Tens of millions of unrestricted dollars beyond the state's reserve requirement. Suffice it to say that while we may not be able to negotiate doing everything, it would appear there's room to do something. We ask your support on the tentative agreement before you tonight, and we look forward to a productive round of negotiations for the 26-27 school year. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Superintendent report, Dr. Andrews.
Thank you, President Pardue. First, before we go too much further, Ms. Bishop, our student board member, is at softball practice tonight, and I don't believe she's going to be able to join us. So just a few items. It actually hasn't been that long since we had a formal board meeting, which was the 16th of December. There hasn't been that many school days in between. But today is a historic day, because today was the 90th day of the school year. So we are now officially on the second half of the school year starting tomorrow. So it won't be long at all, if you can believe that. We'll be celebrating our retirees, our employees of the year, and our graduates in just a few short months. We appreciate the busyness that's occurred from finishing since our last board meeting, like finishing the semester with grades and finals, also the work jumping right back into the school year. I was able to visit Dorothy McElhaney, as I was sharing in closed session. On the first day of school, as school was kind of getting rebooted and kids were back on campus after a three-week break. But our athletics didn't finish. Our classified staff was busy throughout the break. Oftentimes our classified staff, especially our maintenance team, is doing projects because there aren't students on campus. They're able to get in and get work done. By way of this is for the public's information, just to acknowledge the absence of Trustee Hartley. On December 19th, I received official notice that the petition for a special election was certified by the Registrar of Voters, and Trustee Area 3 would be vacated immediately. So I just want to recognize that there were 11 candidates that applied for that seat. Ms. Hartley served for a brief period of time, attended the one meeting that she was expected to attend, fulfilled all of her responsibilities. I also recognize the democratic process that we are simply following and going through. At this time, I do not know the date of the special election for Area 3, but at some point in time soon, we'll get that notice and we'll proceed. In the interim, our 4 board members who are here are carrying on the work of the district. I do appreciate our board and our elected officials. You provide me insight that I don't get, because you have a different circle of friends and community members and constituents and parents than I would normally cross paths with. So it does add vision and direction to what the district accomplishes. We know it's not necessarily easy to be a board member. The work, as Mr. Pardue and I were talking, like, you are never not a board member. Like, I am never not the superintendent. And so at church or in the grocery store or on a field or taking a walk or on the dais, we still have these responsibilities all the time. So I appreciate the work that the board does and the collective conversation that does take shape over time. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And now for board member reports, I call on Ms. Young.
Okay, we are on an Africa theme this evening, which I'm going to continue. So I'm going to use my, okay. So how do I? Oh, okay. We can leave that one up. So I'm going to talk about Rotary. We all have heard a lot about how Rotary does so much for our school district. Rotary also gets involved in a lot of international community service projects. So I just got back from Uganda with 2 other Murrieta Rotary members. We have a connection. So Uganda is in East Africa. The town we were in is fairly close to Kenya. We actually did a day trip to Kenya. So our contact there lives in Riverside, but he also lives part-time in Bugiri. This town is called Bugiri. And I really wanted to focus on education, but I realize I can't really do that unless I give information about the conditions there, like why we were there. So there's a lot of things that those of us in developed countries have and take for granted that they don't have. And I have traveled in developing countries, particularly in South America and Southeast Asia, but Uganda was definitely more intense than the conditions were better in other parts of the world I've been in. For example, they don't have a sewer system at all. They have, they use the word latrine. I guess we call them outhouses, but there's nothing protecting the sewage from going into the groundwater. So it's contaminated. Hepatitis and typhoid fever are endemic there. We all got a lot of shots before we went. None of us got sick. So one of the things we've been funding is to build, this is a town of 30, they use the word village, but they actually have 32,000 people there. So we've been helping to fund building public toilets, which are something like septic system. It's a little, I don't know how to explain that technology, but that's the closest thing to it. And we managed to construct 6, not nearly enough. And it is a problem because they have to be cleaned. So we help purchase trucks to clean them. They also don't have a trash collection service at all. People burn everything, even plastic, which we know is quite unhealthy. So our contact purchased a trash truck, and again, it's just the beginning. They're gonna have to try to figure out how to pick it up and where they need to find a place to bring it, but this stuff's all being worked on. Some of the things we are funding is, there's this technical school. I took that picture at the school. So yeah, all of those, the guy in the blue shirt, Zubair is our contact who lives in Riverside, and what he told us is so many people leave, but they don't come back to help their people. So he wants to, and he is, I got to know him pretty well, he is sincerely there to help improve the conditions of that town. So he started this technical school. That is, I think that's the computer class. The first day we went there, they have electrical outages practically every day, and the electricity was out, but they were still working on what they could work on without computers. Secondly, the whole month of January is a vacation month, but the kids were coming to school anyway because they wanted to keep learning. So, and we talked to a lot of people. English is not their native language, but it's very, English is a universal language there because they have a lot of, like you go to a different town, there's a different language. So a lot of these kids, very coherent, very interested, very determined to learn. So there's the computer classes. They're also starting a nursing school there. And we help purchase sewing machines. And I'll do a sidebar on that in a second. And they're also doing like a hairdressing school because they braid hair. And so the girls are learning to braid hair and they can make a living at that. So this is a vocational school. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna do a side thing on the sewing machines. And we don't have a picture of that, but we visited a women's group. And the women were using sewing machines and material we bought. Okay, just things, even though I know pretty much, yeah, they don't have a lot of the things we have, but I haven't thought about everything. They don't have menstrual pads there. So when girls start their period, they literally drop out of school, and that's the end of their education. So this women's group we visited were sewing menstrual pads, selling them at a low price, using the money to buy more materials to make more and make a little bit of a living so they can support themselves. It's serving a dire need because girls literally drop out of school when they start their periods. So that's one of the things the sewing machines are being used for. Okay. There are also lots of orphans there, like orphanages everywhere, and the government doesn't support orphanages. So basically, warm-hearted people start them up. We went to this one, the man had land, he was growing rice. We're trying to figure out how to help them. We want to try to send some of them to this school I'm going to mention in a bit. But we asked, not accusatory or anything, but we asked to see where they were sleeping. So it was a house with like 2 rooms. There were blankets on the floor, about the size of a bedroom in one of our houses. And there were 30-something boys sleeping in one room and 20-something girls in the other. But, you know, this man takes them in because they have no place to go, and they had a lot of women there helping. Some of them are going to school. We visited another school besides the technical one, and I don't think that picture made it here.
Which one?
Okay, it's called Riverside Junior School.
Curtis.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we're interested in partnering with this school and the orphanage to send some of those kids to this school. And the director, he might have been like the principal, he gave us these shirts. Our 2 Rotary ladies wanted the district to have, so I'm giving these to you. But we might be able to form some sort of partnership with them. But yeah, it was, you can see the way I'm dressed. Women wear long dresses and long skirts, so they told us while, you know, we're in that town. So in Palm Springs, I found a shop that sells recycled Indian saris and turns them into skirts, so it kind of fit in. But so yeah, we did that there. We didn't have to do that once we left Bugiri. Anyway, yeah, I think I got the gist of it. It really, it's good to be aware of how other people live, and maybe we can do something to help a few of them. It's so overwhelming because, like, we're just one club, and there's so much need that we can't possibly deal with it. So we're like gonna have to focus on 1 or 2 groups, and you know, we have to do it responsibly. You can't just send money without monitoring it. We did meet a Rotary group there, and we're gonna try to have them be a middle person for us, plus our contact Zubair. But yeah, it was quite an experience. I will, in case somebody wants to talk to me privately, we went on a safari for a week while we were there, which was amazing. The conditions on the safari were very different, you know, that Westerners can handle. So if anyone ever feels like chatting about that, feel free to talk to me about it. So yeah, I think that I'll stop with that. That concludes my report.
Right, thank you. Mrs. Briggs.
Thank you. So I took between the last meetings and that we've had here and time off with my kid. I have one more kid left in high school, so we took some time together as a family and really kind of tried to unplug, but I was able to attend some of the events in the district. I did attend, I wanted to tell you guys about, is the ATP, the Adult School Graduation. They had like a whole music thing that happened, and they brought in the kids with their instructor who were presented to the crew, and it was pretty amazing. They are just so happy to be graduating. I think they were sending off 3 kids that day, 3 adults that day, and it's just such a phenomenal program. And shout out to Shauna and her team, because they did a phenomenal job. Like the parents, I've talked to probably more than 10 parents now just in the community who their kids have experienced ATP, and they are super grateful and just super thankful that the district provides the program as a continuing education for their adult kids, you know, because it's a scary time for parents, but because the district provides those resources and kind of that hand-holding before they're really out, they're very grateful. So the feedback I've gotten has been super positive from the community, so thank you again to Shauna and the team out there. I went to a couple meetings just this past week with Faith and her team, Darren and his team, regarding our facilities master plan and some work we're doing on a transparency component for the recent job descriptions that passed. And really, I want to just take this time to say, you know, in both meetings it was interesting because the question was posed of where we're getting information as board members, or me specifically, I can't speak for them, I apologize, but where, you know, who are we coming across in the community? And it really is parents in the community and community stakeholders that we come across. So it's your voices that I bring to the tables of every meeting that I come to. So if there's an email that I get, you best believe Dr. Anders knows I am forwarding that email on. I'm making sure he's sending it to the correct department head for that department or for that concern. But it's the feedback from the community. You know, there's a quote and it says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. And when we get feedback from our community, our job as board members is to act as that kind of gateway to say, hey, we have this situation, this program is running amazing, or here's an opportunity that we can work on making something better. That's the oversight that as a board we're called to provide for this community. And so I'm very grateful for the people who do email, the people who do call, and the people who do text. Let me tell you, the voices don't go unheard, and it's pretty cool to see. I'll give you one example, and I think I brought it up at the last meeting, is this telescope project that I am super excited about that's going to be installed at Vista Murrieta High School. But that came out of a 7th grader at Dorothy McElhaney who has a desire to share his passion for astronomy with other people and other kids. So as a result of his feedback at an event I met his mom at, we've now had how many meetings? Jose was in on that meeting. We have people, like, you have these people in the district office because of the 7th grader coming to the table along with another group from our community who's willing to partner with us. And it's been a really cool thing to see. So those emails are valuable. The feedback is valuable. I'm just very grateful for all of it. And then the facilities master plan meeting, which is kind of neat because as we go on to this, we're going to also open up the ability for people to schedule a time to come with us as board members to visit the facilities that do need the work. Because I told Jose and Darren, I said, listen, I'm coming. I dropped my kid off at the curb. I don't see the internal workings of that building. All I see is this beautiful building I'm dropping my kid off to. It looks like it's in order. There's no garbage outside, and it looks fabulous. But we want to, as Darren loves to tell us, is to pull back the curtain and to show the community members what it is, as we do this facilities master plan, what it is that we're working towards. That, yes, are we being good stewards of the money? Are we making good financial decisions on behalf of the district? And it is for people in our community to be able to see what Jose and Darren have to probably deal with on the daily, probably right now, and their teams on some things that are in need of repair, on things that need to be replaced, so things like that. So I'm really excited. We're making some pretty good forward progress. We're supposed to get an update here shortly, and I'm excited about that. But those are the 2 components I want to just make sure to put out. That if you as a community, if you're listening to this later, because I know people do listen to these meetings, it's pretty amazing, and you need to give feedback, give the feedback, send the email, send the text, and someone will connect with you. I have asked that every person who speaks at this dais, whether it's our team on the board or the superintendent's team, everyone should have a point of contact, a connect point to say, yes, the district is looking at what I'm doing. So that's where you can hold us accountable, is are we doing what at the request of the community or bringing up concerns at the community. So I think it's been a great couple weeks off in terms of not as many meetings, but as we come into the next few months, it's going to go quickly. I know what Dr. Anders Myers is talking about. It's going to go fast, and there'll be a lot of things, but I appreciate the time, and that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. And Mrs. Schmidt.
Okay, so good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. I'm excited for this new year and to see all that it will bring. It's already like the end of January almost. It's already going super fast. Last week, I attended the Student of the Month breakfast, and I got to hear about the accomplishments of Kylie, David, Lily, and Christopher. Their parents have done an amazing job of raising such bright, capable, resilient young adults. And one thing that stood out to me about all of the Student of the Month candidates or recipients, I guess, is that their perseverance and their grit. So each one of these students had different challenges and responsibilities that they had to do, yet they didn't quit. And I think that is just such a admirable quality, especially in our young people, because sometimes, including myself, I don't have the grit or the perseverance to do hard things, and these students have what it takes to do hard things and do it well. So congratulations to them, and for never giving up. They worked really hard to get where they are now and where they're going to be. Also, thank you to the wonderful teachers that supported them. As it was mentioned earlier, the teachers are the ones also working beside them and really being their cheerleader and their champion away from their parents. So thank you to those teachers as well. My next visit will be to Alta Murrieta Elementary in February, and I'm really excited about that, as I have not visited that site yet. Also, during the break, I spent some time meeting with some community members about the potential bond, as well as gathering information on topics that were brought up at our last board meeting. And finally, I would like to offer congratulations to our VMHS athletes who committed to play football in college. I didn't write their last names, but they know who they are, I'm sure. They had a signing day. Derek, Luke, Josiah, and Elisha. And also congratulations to Joseph, a VMHS band student who was selected to be a member of the Bands of America and Honor Band in the 2026 Rose Bowl Parade. And a lot going on at Vista, right? But luckily we have congratulations to the MVHS students also who have completed the Moreno Valley College Fire Academy. So my youngest son, is a firefighter in San Diego. So this profession is near and dear to my heart, and I know that takes also a lot of grit and perseverance and studying. And so congratulations to those students, and we're proud of all of you. And I would just like also to recognize Mr. Chris Hunter, who brought his MVHS robotics team to Thompson Middle School. And they brought their mini robotics lab to the middle school students. So as Mr. Wallace was talking here earlier about the robotics, they do team up, and I think it's so great that you can have the high school kids working with the middle school kids, and I just love the robotics. I have been to Thompson Middle School and seen Mr. Wallace's class, and it was amazing. And these kids are doing amazing things. My big thing was like, what do you do when you lose a Lego? Like the Legos, because at my house, just with, a few kids, they're always losing pieces, and here they're building these robots and everything with a billion pieces, and they have their own way of organizing and everything. But those classes are really neat because the students are driving the instruction, and the teacher is just a facilitator there. So you guys are doing amazing things. So. And I'm really glad that he was able, Mr. Wallace, to bring his team up here and demonstrate that. So that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Bishop was able to join us, so are you ready for your report? All right.
Good evening. I apologize for being late. Sometimes I overschedule myself a little bit, but I am excited to be here and starting off the new year strong. I'm excited. This will be my last semester in high school, so I'm really excited. And we are, as for the kids in our district, the ASB kids are meeting, the ASB representatives are meeting on February 18th to put in student perspective on the facilities master plan. So we're going to talk about that. We're really excited to put some of our input in, as we are the ones that are at the forefront of the facilities. But so I will have more of a report after that meeting, but that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, first of all, I just want to be able to say I really enjoyed celebrating the holidays here in Murrieta. And we have an amazing community. As a person who's kind of an empty nester, I love the fact that my kids came home and we had a full house. And there's no feeling like having a full house with family. And I absolutely enjoyed that. And also celebrating the new year in our local establishments. And I've never really made it to midnight, and I managed to make it, and I thought that was great. And I saw so many community members out there enjoying our wonderful town. The other thing I thought was unique was my kids, as they came back, really like our area. And it's wonderful to think that we have such a great community, that we have our young people who started out, at least my kids, started trashing Murrieta with this, oh, Murrieta, and da-da-da. And now, when they experience weather outside of Southern California, they discover this is a great place. This is amazing. I love it here. And I really think that's something that's really important. At least for me, I took it as just how blessed we are to live in such a great community, and of course to have such great schools. And having so many of the kids and their friends come back, and they're finding success and doing so well after school. It's been amazing. So I really wanted to connect that. The other odd thing, to Dr. Anderson's point, it's the holidays, there wasn't a ton, but man, it felt like January, New Year's, everyone wanted to ask me about the bond. I had more community members and stakeholders and people get in my ear about that. And I think it's really important because people are concerned. And of course, this also, we're going to be discussing this a lot, but trying to allay fears and explain kind of the needs. And for me as a board member, one of the things I don't talk a lot about, and that is the needs of the school really hit home when I've kind of ignored it. Murrieta Valley High School is an old school. And I've watched, because my kids all played sports, to see the gym get flooded. And then we kept having to deal with issues like that. The dance floor gets flooded. There's all kinds of different issues, but I'm sitting in my wife's science classroom and that whole back hallway and everything. There's a lot of needs there, and the community needs to see it. And some of the people that I was talking to were really concerned about what's going on with the bond and the needs. And I really want to make sure that I invite everybody to take part in these town halls and get opportunity to come and see our facilities and see the needs that we have, because the needs are real. My biggest concern as a board member is how the state treats our district. And I've said that since I've been on the board. I don't feel like we're treated fairly. I have spent quite a week of contacting our elected officials to discuss our LCAP funding and why we're underfunded and what we can do, trying to find any avenue possible. Talking about what our tax burdens are and trying to understand, what our community members and stakeholders, how they feel about what's happening with bonds. No one really likes discussing anything to do with raising taxes in our area, and trying to connect those two. And that really does take a community, right? Because to have a great community, we want to have great schools. And to have great schools, we need funding. And if the state's not funding us, well, then we have real challenges. And those challenges can only be addressed as a community. So it's something that I take pretty seriously. The other thing I wanted to acknowledge is, of course, it's winter sports programs, and sometimes teachers don't appreciate this, teachers. There are so many coaches that put in time over the break, and I ran into a whole bunch of the coaches because I am coaching right now, and they're all out there doing such a great job in the Murrieta sports teams. Their soccer and wrestling programs, basketball, of course, is in full swing, and the kids are out there getting it done during the winter break, and it's really impressive how much time and effort they put in, even when school's not in session. The last thing I wanted to discuss is goals. Personally, for me, I think there's a lot of in this position, I think it's important that we're improving our scores and academic outcomes just generally. I'm never, because probably from my coaching background, I'm never really satisfied with what we have. And I think that's something that the community really cares about, that we want to be top notch all the time. And we want to stay on top of that. We never want to have some, I'm not a fan of seeing a step away from a meritocracy. I want kids to understand that they need to hit those top levels, and we as a school need to continue to challenge our kids and make sure they're performing at their very best. Promoting academic excellence and protecting the classroom environment. For anyone who wasn't paying attention, that was the #1 reason I ever even got involved in politics, is because I have seen the decline in student behaviors, at least from my side, and I'm very concerned about what happens and how we support teachers in the classroom so that it's a safe environment for students to learn. If it's not safe for teachers, then it surely isn't safe for students, and we need to work as a community to make sure that we maintain and protect that learning environment for teachers and students. It's just #1 should be our top priority, and I'm very hopeful that we continue to work in partnership with the administrative staff and, of course, reaching out to parents to understand there are long-term consequences for poor behavior. And that includes, I've had I teach economics, 2 incidents where students were relaying to me seeing baristas losing their job for not saying something nice and writing a little message on a cup. I heard 2 different stories in a week about Starbucks' new policy of trying to, communicate and use your personal soft skills and stuff like this. And there have been people who employees in 2 different cases just refuse to do it. I don't want to do that. I'm not comfortable with doing that. And you don't get to tell your boss no when you're asked to do a job. And we don't want to be encouraging that kind of behavior, right? We have to learn how to take instruction and correction, because if we can't take correction, how are we going to keep that job? So I think the work that we're doing, aside from academics, that discipline issue is a huge thing, and it's a big, big focus for me. And I hope everyone continues. I know we got a great school, and I know our employees work really, really hard, and I hope that partnership continues. So that concludes my remarks. Moving on. The consent calendar. Consent calendar items are voted on collectively as a group. Upon board member request, items may be removed from the consent calendar for discussion and individual action. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar items G1 through G6 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. All right, G1. The board received the 2026 annual governance calendar. The board has received this calendar. Item G2, approval of revised certification of signatures form 3350T. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Approved publication of the 2024-2025 school accountability report cards. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Approval of personnel report. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G5, public disclosure of tentative agreement with the California School Employee Association and its Murrieta Valley Chapter 223. Any public comments for this item? There are none. All right. Approval of the tentative agreement with the California School Employees Association and its Murrieta Valley Chapter 223. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Public disclosure of tentative agreement with Murrieta Educators Association. Any public comments for this item?
Ms. Murray?
There's none.
None.
Approval of the tentative agreement with the Murrieta Educators Association. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I'd just like to add that I think all of us up here feel like the teachers in Murrieta deserve to get paid more. And I really wish the state would adjust its funding formulas to accommodate for that. I will say that out loud. All right. We got all that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G9, approval of certificated employee salary schedules effective July 1, 2025. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G10, approval of classified employee salary schedules effective July 1, 2025. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Approval of substitute salary schedule. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G12, approval of certificated and classified confidential management salary schedules effective July 1, 2025. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G13, approval of senior management salary schedule effective July 1, 2025, and corresponding amendments to contracts. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G14, information regarding amended Education Code Section 35120, board member compensation. Item G15, student discipline, expulsion case number 2025-2026-150. Trustee Young, please read out.
I move that the Board of Education of the Murrieta Valley Unified School District expel the student for the violation of California Education Code 48900C under Education Code Section 48915B for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G17, approval to award a contract to Chapman Coast Roof Company Incorporated in the amount of,
Mr. Pardee, real quick.
did I skip?
Yep, back to 16.
Those things do happen. Item G16, adoption of resolution number 2526-8, accounting of development fees for fiscal year 2024-25 in Fund 25. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G17. Approval to award a contract to Chapman Coast Roof Company Incorporated in the amount of $590,000 and $597.76 for Dorothy McElhaney Middle School roof replacement project. Calls for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss real quick, Nick. I just had one question. I apologize.
No problem.
On the roofing one, and I guess it's probably for Darren. So the bid is for $590. If there's like a change order or if something has to be added out of that scope, does it have to maintain within that bid amount?
Yeah, we actually have a small amount we keep overage.
Okay.
And it falls in, but if it falls over that, that'll come back to the board for approval.
Okay. And is it our habit to are we required to do lowest bid on these? Okay. Thank you.
See, of all the bids, Chapman Coast was a low bidder.
Yeah. But like a really big margin.
Responsible bidder.
Okay.
We call it because we have opportunity to come back and speak that low bid just to ensure everything in the scope is above board and there's a common understanding of what's expected.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. Item G18, first reading of proposed revisions to administrative regulations. Do board members have any questions or comments? All right, hearing none. Item G19, Williams Uniform Complaints Quarterly Report. The board has received this report. I call for a motion to adjourn the Board of Education meeting at 6:14 PM.
Second.
Say
All in
yes.
favor? All in favor?
I'm in favor.
Aye,
I am
aye.
in favor.
We're adjourned. Let's
Yes.
go.